Hello, Charlene Hess here with Living Whole Fitness, and today I'm going to be showing you just a really simple joint mobility routine that you can do before a workout. This is also a really great routine to do just before you go to bed. This may sound strange to do that, but it's really good to go to bed loose. If you go to bed tight, a lot of times we think, oh, I'm really stiff. If I just go to bed and lay down, it'll go away. It won't. It'll actually get tighter while you sleep. And so if you do this mobility routine before you go to bed, you're actually going to experience a lot more looseness when you wake up. So I'm just going to start. We're going from top to bottom, from inside to outside. A lot of this is from Scott Sonnons' work of IntuFlow that I'm going to be taking you through. And I'm just adding the additional piece of just really listening in to see what feels good to your body. So we're going to start with our necks. So when you start, we're going to start from the very top. So I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to check my range of motion looking right to left. As you're doing this, you're going to go all the way to your full range, but don't go into stretch. You want to just go right to the edge and then immediately come back out of it. I'm reaching the back of my ear towards the wall, reaching my chin over my shoulder. Back to center, looking chin to ceiling, chin to chest. As I'm looking up and down, I'm not just dropping my head back. I'm actually reaching my chin to the ceiling, pointing it up, and then I'm pulling it down and tucking my chin tight to my chest like I'm trying to look at something on my shirt. So getting that up and down, creating length in the spine. Back to center, ear to shoulder, jawbone to ceiling. Exploring the range in my neck. Do each one about 5 times, and then I'm going to glide forward and back. So I'm reaching out and pulling away. And then I'm going to go side to side. You can have little goalposts for your fingers, and I'm reaching my cheekbone and my jawbone simultaneously over. So I'm not tilting, I'm just gliding as though my chin is on a shelf. And then I can go into circles. And then the other direction. And then you can play with a full rotation. And just really feel what feels good as you're doing this. If as you're doing your neck mobility, you feel an area that's tight, don't just keep going into it like, oh, it hurts when I do this. Well, don't do that. Don't take your body into the pain signal. Stay just at the edge of it, adding range of motion, not just going right into it. So now I'm going to work down into my shoulders, and I'm going to do clasped hand shoulder circles. So I'm moving my shoulder up towards the ceiling, back towards the wall, down towards the floor, forward. I'm keeping my hands in the same place, and then you can go in the opposite direction. And then I can reach out and do some shoulder screws. So as I do my shoulder screws, I'm going to lift my shoulder up, roll it forward, and then roll it back. And then opposite side. And then as I do this, I can rotate both arms, screwing the shoulders. So I'm really reaching away from me as I'm doing my shoulder screws. And then you can go into shoulder circles, doing a full backstroke. The idea of doing this mobility is that you want to get synovial fluid inside the joints. And the only way to do that is by taking your joint through its full range of motion. So if you just sit and you're stable and you don't move your body around, your joints aren't going to get fed all of the nutrients and nourishment that you have in this fluid that floats through your body. You need to get it into the joint by taking that joint through range of motion. So I'm just going to go through and do elbow circles. These are also called hitchhikers. So thumbs down, come in, thumbs out. Thumbs down, come in, scoop towards your body, thumbs out. Full extension, full flexion, and then I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And then I'm going to add a little bit of wrist mobility. So moving my wrists in a circle, you can move them side to side, up and down, and then circles. So just moving those joints in full range of motions. If it feels good and you work a lot on a keyboard, you can even add circles with your fingers, adding that full range of motion. Now I'm going to go down and open up my chest and then round and shoot forward. So from the side, I'm bending, rounding like I'm getting into a cat position, and then I'm going to open and scoop and look up like I'm going into a cow position. And then reaching forward and back. So I'm getting a little bit of mobility in my spine, opening the scapula, pulling my shoulder blades back. And then you can do spinal waves, where you take and you round forward, and then as you tuck, you're gonna pull my ribs up and in, leading, keeping my chin tucked all the way to the top, and then reach with my chin and my chest, coming all the way down and getting a little bit of a stretch in my hamstrings, and then rolling all the way up, and then adding that movement to the spine. Rolling back up. And I'm gonna go into my hips. So I'm just gonna move side to side, and so as you're moving side to side, think about your femur bone fitting into your hip socket. And so it's just this movement of getting that movement in the hip socket. So I'm moving side to side, and then I'm gonna move forward and back. And then I like to take it into a circle. So I'm just moving my hips in a circle, and then other direction. Again, you're gonna do each one about 5 times. Maybe your body asks for more, maybe you wanna do it 10. As you're going through and doing your mobility, the thing that feels really good, like, oh, my body really likes that, do more of it. You can do figure 8s, where you're moving the hip, one circle this way, and then one circle this way, and then reverse the direction. And I'm going into leg swings. So find your balance on one foot, plug that foot into the floor, fix your gaze on something stable. I'm just going to do leg swings. So I'm just moving forward and back. All right. And then I can do push knee kicks. So I pull my knee up into my chest, kick through the heel, swing back, pull the knee up and in. And then I can do hip hurdlers, heel to heel, toe to toe. So as I'm doing this, I have external rotation, I'm bringing the leg up, I'm internally rotating, bringing the toe in. Heel to heel, toe to toe. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, starting with my leg swings, my push knee kicks, pull the knee up and in, and then my hip hurdlers. So now my hips are feeling nice and warm. I'm going to go into my knees. You can work on your balance, and you can do your knees by plugging your foot into the floor, bringing the knee up. I call this stir the pot. So I'm keeping my leg in one position, and I'm moving my lower leg in a circle. So trying to keep the movement just in the knee, not in the hip. Do the other side, circle. If balance is hard for you and you can't find a place that you're able to stabilize, you can also do knee circles this way. So as you're doing the knee circles this way, I'm keeping my feet on the floor. I'm not rolling them around, so plug your feet in. And you're getting your knees, your ankles, and your hips, focusing on the knees, switching directions. And then ankles. Do some nice circles with your ankles, making a really big circle. And then go the other direction. So that's just a really simple mobility routine, starting from top to bottom, going from inside to outside, hitting all of the major joints and limbs. If you do this mobility routine before every workout, it's a great way to check in with your body to see where you're tight, where you're stiff. If there's an area that feels painful, you know to avoid movement in that area other than really gentle mobility, not going into pushing it or weighting it or loading it or asking it to be explosive or have speed. And again, if you do this at the end of your day, before you go to bed, your body will thank you. It's a great way to just get everything loose from the day before you slip in to rest. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, you want to give me feedback, please leave a comment below. And thank you so much for listening in, and enjoy your mobility.